Oil sands are a mixture of sand, clay, water, and oil. The oil is naturally extra heavy and doesn't float under normal conditions. This extra heavy oil is called bitumen. Once the oil is extracted, it can be used to make many products, such as ballpoint pens, rubber boots, erasers, tires, and gasoline. The Canadian oil sands are one of the largest single deposit of oil in the world, containing between 1.7 and 2.5 trillion barrels. Almost all of the oil sands are found in the boreal forests of northern Alberta. Bitumen is highly viscous, meaning it does not flow unless it's heated or lighted with hydrocarbons. Conventional drilling techniques cannot be used on bitumen because it is too viscous to flow smoothly and sticks to the sand grains in which it is found. Therefore, other extraction techniques were developed to produce the oil. The two most common methods are open pit mining and in situ processes. Bitumen within 75 meters of the surface is open pit mined. First, huge clumps of oil sands are shoveled into large trucks. They are then taken to crushers where they are broken down and mixed with heated water to separate the bitumen from the sand. Once the bitumen is released, they send it on for further processing. Around 80% of the oil sands are found 75 meters below the surface. To extract them, in situ or underground methods must be used. The majority of the in situ operations pump steam underground through horizontal wells with the purpose of liquefying the bitumen, which can then be pumped up to the surface. This method is called steam-assisted gravity drainage. Produced bitumen is heavier than conventional sources and requires a special process called upgrading to give it properties similar to conventional oil. Once processed, bitumen is refined just like conventional oil into common petroleum products. The extracted bitumen blend is transported across the continent using pipeline systems that span over 3,000 kilometers. The pipelines transport the blend to either be refined or shipped out to buyers. In 2015, about 1 million barrels per day were transported across these lines. There is concern about the environmental and social impact of these pipelines, including the destruction of land, effects of leaks, and tearing up communities to build the lines. The pipelines aren't the only source of environmental damage when it comes to the oil sands. Producing oil from the oil sands releases up to 3 times the greenhouse gases as producing conventional oil. However, oil sands make up for only 2.3% of the world's oil supply, and so currently have a much smaller impact on climate change than other fossil fuels. The extraction of oil from the boreal forest has led to huge stretches of forests being destroyed. Companies are required to reclaim land after finishing surface mining, but reclamation efforts have been underwhelming, with only 0.2% of mined land being certified as reclaimed. One of the byproducts of separating bitumen is water that contains bitumen and solvents. This water is known as tailings, and it is stored in open, man-made lakes called tailing ponds. Currently in Alberta, there are more than 117 square kilometers of tailing ponds, which are considered to be one of the largest human-made structures. The ponds have contaminated water in the Athabasca River region, where fish in the river were found poisoned and a high cancer rate was recorded in the communities nearby. The U.S. is the world's largest demander of oil and Canada's biggest outside customer. In August 2013, Canada sent an average of 2.6 million barrels a day to them. In 2013, the production of oil from the oil sands reserves averaged at 1.9 million barrels a day. This number will increase to 3 million barrels a day, according to the Alberta government. This expansion is being financed by $19 billion a year in investments. In 2012, 390,000 direct, indirect, and induced jobs were created by the oil sands, which is 2.3% of all jobs in Canada. The future of oil sands will require stricter environmental safety laws if it wants to win the eyes of the public and be more sustainable. Improvements in water usage sustainability, waste management, affected wildlife habitats, and regional air quality are actively being sought out. In terms of technology, companies are looking at furthering methods that allow for deeper and cheaper drilling. Oil sands are still a small portion of the global oil economy. The industry hopes to continue to expand as demand increases, but the push against oil sands is preventing the needed infrastructure from being built to enable this growth.